how are we affording life? Like, how are we lifing right now? Because I just paid $5 for a fucking one biscuit.
Like, have you seen the price of things? I literally walk outside, breathe fresh air, and immediately $100 is gone.
It's no longer hard to live in America. It's impossible.
Is it just me, or does the middle class get screwed the most?
Being poor is hard, but being middle class, that's a special kind of hell nobody talks about.
The liar lied again. The con man conned again.
Can't even afford childcare anymore. People have had to quit their jobs to stay home.
Only hope of being able to afford a rent is a partner.
Poor people have community, rich people have resources, and the middle class suffers the most.
For the middle class and poverty, like, I don't know how the fuck we're ever gonna get out of this hole.
The middle class used to build wealth. Today, many families are simply trying to survive in this economy. With the rising costs, everything is becoming impossible to survive in America. And many families right now are trying to downsize or trying to how they can go to the food bank or what, like it's insane. I can't even tell you. You go outside, you pay more to the gas. You want to rent an apartment, you got to make 3 times your income while the wage is not increasing and everything's stuck on the same level and people are feeling the pain. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe, comment, and like, and hype me up. Let's check out this video.
The middle class is a bunch of robots walking around hypnotized because they have 2 cars and a college degree. And because you're not in jail or you're no threat of jail, you think you're good. You don't live in inner city Baltimore. You're not struggling for food every day. So you think you're safe. You're not safe. You're making $250,000 a year and you have no money left over. I've been saying this for years. There was a video I did about if you make $400,000 working for an insurance company where you could make $4 million, you should be ashamed of yourself as a father and a husband.
I realize how privileged this is going to sound, but I have never had to worry about gas like this. Like, I never had to worry about if filling up the gas tank was going to, like, break the bank for me. Gas where I live is consistently over $4. Recently, I've seen it being over $4.50. And it's not even about the gas, but let's talk about grocery prices, because why am I in a store and I look over to the Doritos and it's $6? $6 for a regular bag of Doritos. And I know what some people are going to say, oh, well, just eat fresh, eat vegetables, whatever. Vegetables are expensive. They're expensive. Everything's expensive. It doesn't matter anymore. Honestly, going to Taco Bell is cheaper than going out and grocery shopping. And don't even get me started on the price of beef and chicken and whatever. It's bad. It's all bad.
So I have a question. What do all these people do that live in Texas and drive rigs that are worth $300,000 and live in houses that are worth more than $700,000? What the hell do you people do? It kind of makes me feel like I live in poverty now.
Okay, I want a tangent this morning, so let's go. How are we affording life? Like, how are we lifing right now? Because I just paid $5 for a fucking one biscuit. What the fuck? What in the actual fuck is happening? Like, are we selling titty pictures? Are we selling feet pictures? Are we farting in a jar and selling that? Because at this point, I'm down for what the fuck ever. I'm gonna bitch about it and I'm still gonna buy it. But what the fuck? Me and my husband make really good money, but this is wild. I can't imagine any single parents doing it in today's world. I literally can't. I was raised by a single mom and I watched. Now that I'm older, I know I noticed the struggles. I didn't notice them then, which that is great that I never noticed that. But how the fuck are you guys doing it? Because what the fuck? I have 2 incomes in my household and that's wild. Wild. I feel for everybody that is a single parent, that's one income. It blows my fucking mind how they expect us to be able to afford this. Our kids are so fucked if they don't have something being passed down to them. Literally, literally our generation, we should have bought a fucking house in kindergarten.
People keep saying, just get another income.
I mean, I'm sorry. When does survival become the point of living? And let's be real here. Another source of income literally means another job. We talking about more miles on your car, more damage to your body, more hours, more stress, you name it. And then you got people out here delivering food, risking accidents. I'm talking about running themselves into the damn ground and still cannot barely make it. Like, literally. That is not a solution. That's desperation. Literally. And what about life? I'm talking about kids, love, hobbies, rest, joy. Did I say love? I don't know. Whatever. I want y'all to remember we were not put here just to work, sleep, and repeat. We were not, okay? Okay? If it takes 2 jobs to survive, the problem is not the people. It's the system, okay?
Being poor is hard, but being middle class, that's a special kind of hell nobody talks about. You're not poor enough for assistance, but you're not rich enough for freedom. The poor gets food stamps, housing vouchers, and tax breaks. The rich, they get loopholes, lawyers, and passive income. But the middle class, we get stuck with the bill. We pay full price for everything, and when we can't keep up, they blame us and tell us to budget better. They got us working 60 hours a week, can't afford healthcare, can't afford daycare, and God forbid you make $2 over the income limit, then boom, all your benefits vanish. So they punish you for trying to do better. Middle class isn't the American dream. It's a fucking treadmill.
We're starting to see that the middle class is a failed experiment. It only really worked for the baby boomers and some of Gen X. And the reason why I say that is because I've traveled to over 40 countries, and the thing that I see that's starting to be similar in the United States is that people don't really have a choice to be middle class. They either have to deal with being poor for the rest of their life or go for the pipe dream, which is being insanely rich or being a multimillionaire before at the age of retirement. Now, the problem with this is that everybody can't be entrepreneurs and everybody can't be billionaires and millionaires. So if your choice of being a millionaire or being poor is really no different than any of those third world countries that I've traveled to, because everybody is trying to run their own business. They have their own market. They selling oranges or selling shirts or selling some type of souvenirs on the side of the road, or they work for a very underpaid job. And this is what I'm saying in the United States.
Is it just me, or does the middle class get screwed the most? I mean, you make too much money to qualify for any kind of assistance, yet not enough money to really feel financially secure. The rich people have all kind of resources and loopholes. The lower income people qualify for assistance. Meanwhile, if you're middle class, you're paying full price for every freaking thing. Trying to keep your head above water, you're seriously getting screwed. I'm so freaking sick of it. We're literally out here raw dogging inflation.
I'm home. I'm dressed. I'm sitting on my couch. I'm not doing anything. I'm not going out because gas is $4 in Iowa. You're not dramatic. You're not trying hard enough. Gas is $4 in Iowa. You can't afford anything. That is the reality.
You can grow up in middle class and still be struggling with overcoming generational strongholds of poverty mindset. And I'm saying this from my own journey now as a multimillionaire CEO and having to go through so many layers of this stuff. And I even now still struggle with the triggers of those money wounds that are passed on for generations and generations.
Let me see if I got this shit all the way straight. So the lying, corrupt con man who had no policies to help the poor middle class in his first term, ran off of hate and division to get this second term, is now walking back the promise of lowering the cost of things because he says he don't think he's going to be able to do it? The liar lied again. The con man conned again. And see, this is why when we kept asking y'all, what are his policies? What is his legislation? And he never had to come up with it. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris, y'all needed PowerPoints. Y'all needed detailed plans of her policies. This dude had no policies and y'all didn't give any fucks. This is what happens when you don't give a fuck. You get fucked. So when we say to people, the fact that this dude is already lowering the bar before he even takes the oath, which, by the way, why even take the oath if you already said you don't have to follow the Constitution? The Supreme Court said you don't have to follow any rules, and you're going to put a lot of yes men and women in place to where you ain't got to even follow the rules. I don't even understand what's the point of having that ceremony, but that's neither here nor there. When it comes to the lowering of prices, I literally did videos on why certain things cost a certain amount. Eggs were high because of a bird flu, supply and demand. Meat was high because of a drought. The price of milk, especially in Pennsylvania, was because the price of milk is between $4.25 and $4.76 a gallon per Pennsylvania law. That has nothing to do with who's in office. Call the milk board if you don't believe me. But here's the thing, and I said this before. If you thought that billionaires, the people who control the prices of shit, you know, the price gougers, the Krogers, the companies, the corporations who control the prices, if you think that they are going to lower their prices now that he's back in, you don't understand how greed works. That's not how billionaires become billionaires. They become billionaires because they keep raising the price of shit. Why do you think when they first started charging for bags on planes, it was one or two airlines? One or two airlines was doing it. They said, well, because we're going bankrupt. Then the other airlines saw that, oh shit, they'll pay to check their bags? Fuck it, we just gonna raise the prices. We gonna charge for bags. And now look, it's between what, $35 to $75 to check a bag? That's called corporate greed. That ain't got nothing to do with who's in office. So like I said, if you think that this dude lying to you is gonna stop, you goofy. If you thought that this dude has some magical wand that he could wave once he got in, first of all, he would have to care about you in order to wave that wand.
Day trading is uniquely devastating for middle class families, and that's who it's advertised to. It's advertised as a side hustle that you can get really good at if you take enough courses, and then you can quit your 9 to 5 and you can day trade all day long and you'll make so much money. The fact is, only 1% of day traders globally actually return consistent profits. And even then, they're not always enough to live on. So it's supplemental income. That means 99% of people are not turning consistent profit. And the problem with marketing this to middle class families is that, take my family when this happened. We were a family of 4. Our total income annually was under $200,000. We had enough to get by, go on vacation, and tuck some away for retirement. We couldn't survive 5 and 6 figure losses. We couldn't survive losing tens of thousands, much less hundreds of thousands of dollars. This was financially devastating for my family. And yet this is the target demo. And this is what most day trading participants fall into, is this middle class bucket. 95% of day traders are college educated. 6 out of 7 are men, and they're primarily middle class. I think the the gross salary that people are bringing in are between 100 and 115K for your average day trader. So middle class.
I am so tired of living my life in survival mode because despite having 2 college degrees and making close to $80,000 a year, I still cannot keep up with the cost of living. I still cannot afford all of my bills every month and have to live paycheck to paycheck. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I am sacrificing my mental health, my time, and my energy to take care of people in their most vulnerable moments. And a lot of the time, they do not make it. At the very least, I should be able to pay my bills. And for anyone who's thinking, oh, well, you shouldn't have chose that job, somebody has to do it. And you know damn well, if your loved one was critically ill, you would want somebody to take care of them, right? Something has to give. I cannot keep doing this.
Poor people have community, rich people have resources, and the middle class suffers the most. One of my favorite unique facts about my life is that I have lived through 3 completely different socioeconomic classes in one lifetime. I was born in the hood. When I was 11, we moved to the suburbs, very middle class. And around my mid to late 20s, I amassed some wealth that allowed me to live an upper class lifestyle, technically a 1% for my age. And when I was a teenager, I used to haphazardly say, whenever I decide to have kids, I will make sure I move back to the hood so that my kids can have the same childhood that I had. Because I think I had one of the most blissful, happy-go-lucky childhoods ever. Now that I'm older, I would never do that because I don't want my kids to have the same proximity to gangs and violence and drugs, etc. but I do want them to have that same level of community. I felt so safe because there was always a sense of belonging and an unspoken rule that everybody looks out for one another. We all help each other out. Because the truth is, those in poverty rely on interdependence to meet basic life needs. Childcare, babysitter swaps. With food, it was very common to have potluck style or buffet style dining at events, or for a close family friend to come over early and help with cooking, the cleaning, setting up the home, decor before guests arrived. Housing, very common to have multi-generational, multi-family roommate situations, and it's just very common to have any form of bartering or borrowing from one another. Conversely, the wealthy tends to outsource and pay for those community roles. Nannies for childcare, catering and chefs for gatherings. And not only do families live independently, it's very common for families to have multiple homes in multiple countries for multiple different seasons. Lake houses, summer houses, winter chateaus, etc. They even outsource emotional labor. No calling to vent to your homegirl because you've got therapy once a week and you vent to a paid professional. The only time the wealthy really collaborate or lean on one another is to advance their economic status some more. Becoming business partners, investing in large projects together, or, hey, have your son come and do his internship at my company. The end goal of the collaboration is not survival, it's advancement. Now, the reason why the middle class suffers is because there is no shared code of conduct. Some people lean heavier on their community while other people lean heavier on their resources. And then there are some people who sway back and forth along the spectrum. Some people want a village but don't know how to be a villager. Some people show up for everyone's village but don't know how to ask for village support themselves. This can lead to resentment and a breakdown of communication, causing the middle class to feel the loneliest and the most confused. You've got one friend that says, hey, can you drive me to the airport? While the other friend says, couldn't she have just gotten an Uber? Got one friend who says, hey, can I stay over at your house this weekend? They're doing renovations at mine. While the other friend says, why can't you just find somewhere else to rent, like a hotel or an Airbnb? One friend who says, hey, can you make those meatballs for my sister's birthday? And another friend says, I am not a caterer. I'm not making meatballs for 50 people. What one person sees as neighborly help, another person sees as a nuisance. Neither is inherently wrong, they're just not compatible. The middle class ranges too vastly for a common income to create coherence. In order to survive the vast middle class, you must choose connections that have a shared vision and understanding of what it means to show up for one another.
It's no longer hard to live in America. It's impossible, unless you're rich. We wake up tired, already behind, already calculating which bill won't get paid this week. Groceries feel like luxury items. Rent feels like robbery. Medicine feels like ransom. And the American dream, that's just a cruel joke anymore. We were promised freedom. We were promised opportunity. Instead, we're chained to debt, to jobs that don't pay enough, and to a system that feeds on our exhaustion. It's not just numbers on a bill. It's skipped meals, the empty gas tank, parents lying awake at night wondering how to tell their kids that we just can't afford it. It's seniors choosing between insulin and electricity. It's families praying that their car doesn't break down because one repair means financial collapse. This isn't living. This is surviving in slow motion. And yet they still tell us, work harder, be grateful, stop complaining. But here's the truth. We are not failing. The system is failing us. America has become a place where thriving is reserved for the wealthy and survival is sold to the rest of us at a price we can no longer pay.
At this fucking point, if we don't start fucking just eliminating the tax system for the middle class and poverty, like I don't know how the fuck we're ever gonna get out of this hole. Like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are talking about, oh, we'll have universal basic income. Have you ever fucking dealt with the government? Our government, US government? Have you ever dealt with them? And have they ever fucking managed any fucking thing with the public well? So do you think that they're going to, one, do anything good by us? Two, if they do universal basic income, do you think they're actually going to look at your bills and be like, you know what? This person, Steve over here, he needs, 2,000 to cover his mortgage, 1,000 for his food, his children, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to give like, oh, that roughs out to like 10,000 a month. Do you really think they're going to give you $10,000 a fucking month? Or do you think they're going to just set some arbitrary bullshit number, like, let's just say $3,000 and be like, that's enough. And fucking Elon and all those big fucking corporations that are going to take over your fucking job and AI and all that bullshit are just going to say, oh, that's good enough. At least you're getting fucking something. And then the funny thing is they're going to use the media just like they do now. And they're going to push a narrative that you're an ungrateful fuckwad if you don't accept the $3,000 and just be happy with what you fucking get. Because your rich ass oligarch overlords, that's what they want to fucking provide you. And it's crazy because we pay all the fucking taxes. Yeah, do fucking billionaires pay taxes? Yes. But you know where most of their money goes? Most of their money is in fucking stock and equity. The reason why Elon Musk can fucking borrow fuckloads of money and why he lives the lavish lifestyle he does and Jeff Bezos owns that $100 million yacht and all that shit is not because he has $100 million in fucking liquid asset or liquid cash. He fucking borrows against it. He goes to a bank and says, hey, I own like $1 trillion worth of fucking stock in my company. He goes, I want to borrow against that. So give me $100 million so I can go build this fucking yacht that doesn't fucking really need to be, we could feed poor people or take care of people. And there's going to be motherfuckers on the right and the left. They're saying, oh, well, you know what? They earned that. So why are you giving them shit? Because they worked hard to earn it. Did they work hard to earn it though? Because you know what? If you really pay the fuck attention and you were smart and educated, you would understand that a lot of those companies got subsidies from the government. Do you know what subsidies are? Subsidies are free money from the government that we give to a fucking company that didn't really deserve it or earn it, but we do it so that way they can fucking hopefully grow and expand to where it benefits the government or the American people. The problem with that is Elon Musk and some of those other motherfuckers, they get those benefits, but how come the average person, if I started a company right now and I went to the government and said, hey, give me fuckloads of money, millions and millions of dollars like you gave to SpaceX and Tesla and all that, so that way I could try to grow my company, they would say, nope, sorry, you're on your own. Figure it the fuck out. Go to a local bank and go get you a fucking business loan and figure it the fuck out. Which, by the way, in America, you need to get a business loan to start your fucking company. You already have to have fucking revenue rolling. So it makes no fucking sense. The system's fucking broken. It's all there for the rich and the oligarchs, and they're continuously fucking us. And they're taking fucking Congress and lobbyists and all this shit and doing all these shady backdoor deals. And we're just sitting here. And we're just going to work and doing what I'm doing too. So I can't really say much. At least I'm fucking getting it vented out here. But we're all fucking going to work because we're on this fucking rat fucking wheel. And I got to go to work right now. I got a meeting in 20 minutes. So I got to fucking rush this shit so I can go fucking pay my fucking bills and pay my mortgage. And my life is consumed by that shit. So I don't have time to go burn the fucking White House and Congress to the fucking ground like we should, because they don't give a fuck about us. Right, left, center, it doesn't fucking matter. And the day that you fucking wake up and realize that Trump, Biden, Obama, Bush, Reagan, none of them gave a fuck about us. They were all working for the rich. They still are. They always will, unless we fucking do something about it. So wake the fuck up. Stop worrying about Fox News, CNN, bullshit. That's all it is, distractions. Race, distraction. Fucking all the bullshit going on. ICE, transgender, blah, 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 blah. Bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's all to get us fucking like this. Oh my God, can you believe this fucking bullshit? Oh my God, there's men fucking in women's sports. Who cares? Think about it. Does any of that shit matter in your day-to-day life? Does some stupid executive order that they fucking pass to stop men from being in women's sports? Do I agree with it? Yes, I agree with it. It's stupid as fuck. Why are men in women's sports? Why are women in men's sports? It's a dumb fucking thing. But my point is the executive order that fucking got that shit done. How the fuck did that put any more money in your pocket? Did it make you feel good that you got to go to Thanksgiving dinner and tell your fucking, I don't know, liberal woke fucking friend or cousin, oh, did you see the right one and we got to have fucking men in men's sports and women in women's sports? Great. I'm glad you won that stupid fucking conversation, but it didn't put a dime of money in your fucking bank account. It didn't help you get that promotion. It didn't fucking save you in taxes. It didn't help with property tax. It didn't get rid of Citizens United. It didn't do fucking shit for you. So enjoy your little fucking Thanksgiving, fucking little 4th of July, fucking Memorial Day bullshit conversations that you think you can one up your fucking friends and your cousins and your family with. But let me know when that shit actually fucking matters in your bank account.
The death of the middle class in America and what you should be doing right now. Food prices, housing, insurance, utilities, they're all higher and they're growing and they're growing and they're growing. Personal savings are down. Credit card usage is up. Renters are stuck in a cycle with no exit and homeowners are afraid to sell and lose their locked-in rates. Then we have energy grid stress, supply chain instability. People are realizing that dependency is a vulnerability. Right now, focus on shifting from consumer to producer. Grow food, raise chickens, meet rabbits, make repairs, learn skills. Number 2, lower your monthly obligations. Number 3, build micro resilience, backup power, store food, clean water access, first aid. You don't need a bunker. You need a plan for 3 days, then 3 weeks, and then 3 months. Number 4, learn to cook from scratch. Filter water, fix things, communicate off grid, and manage stress. Number 5, form alliances. Let me know in the comments what you think I missed.
Something I think is an absolutely ridiculous notion is that there are multiple classes, like economic classes in America. There are not. And I'm going to keep on saying it. There are 2 classes of people in America. There's the ownership class and there is the working class. There's no middle class. If you are not an owner, you don't own the assets, you don't own the companies, you don't own the real estate, then you work for the people that own those things. The middle class, the upper middle class, like these multiple classes within the working class have been created to sow division between the working classes when the real divide is between the ownership class and the working class. And regardless of what you think about this is how our capitalist system is set up. And it's going in the shape of a K, right? If you look at the K-shaped economy. People at the top are getting richer. People at the bottom are getting poorer, right? Like we're slowly splitting into what is the actual system. It's the owners and the earners, period. Middle class doesn't exist.
So I just wanted to acknowledge how many more people are finding it unaffordable to rent or buy a home these days. Rent has tripled. Food is super expensive. Gas has gone up. Daycare costs the amount of rent or more, so a lot of people can't even afford childcare anymore. People have had to quit their jobs to stay home, and more people are having mental health, anxiety, depression because of these situations, and more people are having to live on the streets or in shelters because they just cannot afford to survive. And it's really unfortunate and frustrating because these families are trying to access services or trying to just get by, and the amount of money that we're being paid is not nearly enough for the cost of living. And I just see more and more people struggling, and me myself, like, I have a master's degree. I work multiple jobs to take care of myself and my son. I'm one income. I don't have somebody else to support me. So, I mean, I even feel the struggles of that, and it's just an ongoing thing. And I just really want to hear from you how things have affected you and your family, whether you're in this state or another state. I would just love to hear your story to, just advocate and collect some research to try to make a change. I know I'm only one person, but I know that there's many more people who are struggling just like me, and I would love to hear your story and honestly just like what rent and childcare and food costs where you live. So feel free to comment or message me with your feedback and to share your story. Have a great day.
Where are all my girls who grew up poor or part of the working class and have been able to elevate themselves to the middle class or upper middle class? Because it's time that we sit down now and really reflect on how far we've come. Especially if you're in your 30s, you probably already know that you spent most of your 20s grinding and hustling. And a lot of times it's hard for us to sit back and really reflect like, dang, growing up, we really did not have it like that. Like for me, I'm one of 3 on my mother's side, one of 5 on my father's side. My mother was a single mother. My father was not involved at all due to a drug addiction that he has. And like life was hard. Like I'm so thankful that we did have the help of my grandmother to assist. But my mother had 3 kids by 22. Okay? Life was hard. It was not easy at all. And for me to make it to where I am today, now at 31, and I would consider myself middle class, it took a lot of hard work and a lot of unlearning to do in order to get here.
My car to pay my car, and I'm always like a month behind. They're like, well,
what's the reason that you fell behind? And I'm always like, have you seen the price of things? I literally walk outside, breathe fresh air, and immediately $100 is gone. Let me not even talk about Apple. I can't even have 5 cents sitting in my Apple wallet because as soon as they smell that I got like 5 cents in my Apple wallet, immediately Apple wants to withdraw some shit. It's like, charge for charging your phone. I didn't even know that was a charge. I was like, I don't even know what I have that you guys are taking my money. Second, I'm like, have you seen the state of this economy? That's why I'm late on my car. Like, you gonna get your money. It's just not gonna be on time. It's not gonna be on time. And then let's not forget about gas. Gas, I'm having to sell my left titty plus my unborn child just so I could afford gas, so I could go to work, so I could make money where it's not enough money, so I could keep, paying for the stuff that I need on a daily basis. So yeah, that's why I'm late. That's honestly the honest truth. It's not even because I was like out here blowing money, crazy. I'm not on vacation somewhere catching flights. I'm literally catching these hands from life. So yeah, that's why I'm late.
I can't imagine having to provide for a family and shop for a family in this economy. I only have to worry about myself, and I would like to keep it that way. I came to Walmart. Yes, I shopped at Walmart. I had to pick up a few things. It was right by my work, and I went and got my nails done. Yeah, I got, let's see, what did I get? I got 3 tank tops, super cheap tank tops, under $4. I got toothpaste. I got mouthwash. I got toilet wipes. I got razors. And I got 3 protein shakes. And it was $60. Like, I know that it all adds up, but I'm thinking like $60 for this, okay, because most of it was like toiletries. So that shit adds up. But I'm thinking, how do people come grocery shopping and like buy a lot of food? Like, I don't grocery shop I don't buy a lot of food because it just goes to waste. So my groceries isn't too crazy, but I can't imagine having to grocery shop and spending like $300+ on groceries a week. Like, and then that's not even like toilet paper, paper towels, toiletries. That's crazy. Like, what the fuck is we are ruined, really.
Let's talk about those of us who were actually raised. You felt like you were kind of rich. You had a McMansion, 3, 4, 5 bedrooms. You went on vacations to other countries. Your parents had nice cars. My dad drove BMWs. My mom had big cars, Denali, Land Cruiser, best car ever. Stand by that. You kind of won it for nothing. You got the new iPod every Christmas. Very privileged, right? But now you're like, oh, I went to college. I actually went to grad school, and I'm living in my mom's house. And I'm drowning in rent and see no future for a down payment on anything. Especially if you're single. I have a boyfriend, but again, I lived that single life for a long time where I was like, there's no hope. Maybe you're even like me, and the only hope of being able to afford a rent is a partner. That's kind of sad, right? I'm going to hold your hand, truly, and make you feel a little bit better about your situation. Because guess what? That house my parents bought on Long Island, come to find out, Grampy paid for most of the down payment. Now, they weren't mooching. They were taking in my great-grandmother, but still. My uncle, like by marriage, who very successful, my aunt, super successful. His OBGYN father paid for a bunch of his down payment. The grandparents, they're probably all dead. That generation did a lot of help for our parents. Now, my parents obviously helped me. I get to live rent-free, even though we kind of live like roommates. But they helped that generation a lot. That generation didn't have student loan debt like we all do. They didn't need advanced degrees unless their job specifically required it. And what else did they do? Live far beyond their means. Again, I thought we had it good. I didn't realize we were constantly in credit card debt. That those cars were long loans. No, I did not know that. I did not know that we were in debt. Our parents lived beyond their means. A lot of them do not have significant retirement. My dad didn't have a 401k until my parents divorced 10 years ago. And he was nice and didn't take my mom's, which he could have. No, you can't, do not compare yourselves to their parents. I am aware of the statistic that specifically men are doing worse than their fathers in our generation. I totally understand that, but just know, oh God, I'm going to sound like just a boomer hater, but the boomers, they started 50 yards ahead of us in the 100-yard dash. They did not have this. Now, was it all great? Probably no. And the one thing that did humble them was 2008. But you are not a failure because you are not buying a house when you're at the same age that your dad bought his house. You are not a failure for wanting to push back having kids until you know you can afford them. That is a responsible thing to do. Best thing you can do right now, truly, is get out of debt and stay out of debt. That's all.
There is no such thing as the middle class. There's the owning class and the working class. And if you're not already a part of the owning class, then congratulations. Welcome to everyone else. The American dream is built on a lie. It's not a passive lie. It's a lie that actively requires your buy-in. You see, in order for you to buy in to the system of American capitalism, you have to believe that one day you, or at least a member of your family, could come out on top. To sell you this fiction, the owning class has to get you to believe that you're different than the people who are a little less fortunate than you. So they artificially divide the working class into two, blue collar and white collar, lower class and middle class. This is designed to give you the illusion that a lot of people, if they work hard enough and are passionate enough about what they do, can advance from the lower class into the middle class and eventually into the owning class. And for a brief period of American history, that almost appeared as if it was true between about 1958 and 2008. But that's how the American dream is designed to appear, not how it actually functions. In her extraordinary book, Virtue Hoarders, Professor Catherine Liu talks about the phenomenon of the professional managerial class. Now, this is what a lot of us grew up calling the middle class. White-collar workers who perform mental labor instead of working with their hands, and as a result, get to live a comfortable life relative to their working class blue-collar peers. But in this very important book, which I really think you should read, Liu argues that the professional managerial class does not represent a stepping stone between the lower class and the upper class. It represents the enforcement wing of the upper class. They are members of the working class who are hand-picked to represent and protect elite interests, while keeping the remainder of the working class in line. The goal is to get the members of the professional managerial class to identify their interests with the owning class rather than the working class, and rewarding them socially and financially for doing so. If the working class are the laborers in a medieval field, and the owning class are the lords in a medieval castle, then the professional managerial class, who we call the middle class, are the watchmen on the castle walls, whose sole purpose is to prevent the peasants from getting too uppity. Or if you want a more pointed example, if society is a labor camp owned by the ruling class and worked by the working class, then the middle class are the guards on the watchtowers, making sure no one can get out. The guards are paid better. They have better sleeping quarters. They can afford to see their family, or maybe a vacation every now and then. Some of them might get so comfortable that they make the mistake of identifying their class interests with the interests of the people who put them there, when in reality, they're much closer to the people working in the camp, and that they are only ever one hospital bill away from joining the working class. You can see a really good contemporary example of this phenomenon in the second season of the TV series Beef, which is ostensibly about the lower class, the middle class, and the upper class relating to one another. In reality, as the TV series reveals, it is actually about two factions within the working class vying with one another for the power and the attention of the elite class. As the TV series plays out, we realize that there's not as much difference as it first appears between the highly educated and very cultured middle class couple and the uneducated and economically disadvantaged working class couple. It turns out that both couples are viewed by their wealthy benefactors as the same kind of crabs in the same kind of bucket. As American economic anxieties increase, the comfortable middle class is finding itself not very comfortable anymore, and this has left them with two options. One is to continue selling out out the working class in order to gain access to power and resources by identifying their own interests with those of the owning class. And the other is to realize that that was always a devil's bargain. This is how you get so many capitalists without any capital. They've mistakenly identified their own interests with the interests of their benefactors. And they've been rewarded for doing so, but that's not going to last for long. And when the layoffs occur, or AI comes for their job, they're going to realize that they're a lot closer to being homeless than being a billionaire.